girl, or should I say, she once had me. She showed me her room, isn't it good, Norwegian Wood. She asked me to stay and she told me to sit anywhere. So I looked around and I noticed there wasn't a chair. I sat on a rug, biding my time, drinking her wine. We talked until 2, and then she said, it's time for bed. She told me she worked in the morning and started to laugh. I told her I didn't and crawled off to sleep in the bath. And when I awoke, I was alone, this bird had flown. So I lit a fire, isn't it good, Norwegian Wood.
Hey guys, great to see you. Joe here. Welcome to another lesson. Thanks very much indeed for joining me for this one. And there you hear my rendition of a Beatles song called Norwegian Wood, This Bird Has Flown. And this is a cracking song. It was recorded over 2 sessions in '65 between the 15th and the 21st of October for the Rubber Soul album. And there are many rumours as to how the song came about, but perhaps the most accurate is that John and George were over in LA just prior to these sessions, and they met with Roger McGuinn and David Crosby, in which they all had a bit of a jam session with 12-string guitars. And we're talking about the great Ravi Shankar, the great Indian sitar player. And from those sessions kind of came this song, so you can't help but feel that that might have left an impression on John. Now, John always maintained that this was a song that he wrote by himself exclusively, and in the 1980 interview that he gave with Playboy, that's pretty much what he suggested. Although, if you rewind the clock back 10 years prior to that interview, he gave an interview to the Rolling Stone in which he kind of suggested that Paul had indeed helped him with the song. I think Paul has always suggested that he wrote the final verse of the song and perhaps was responsible for the title Norwegian Wood, because John always referred to the song as This Bird Has Flown. So there's a little bit of background on the song. Whatever way you look at it, it's a really nice little song, and there's lots of things that we can take away from this song in terms of technique. So let me do what I usually do and zoom in and start explaining this one to you. Okay, so first things first, we're going to have a capo here on the 2nd fret. And let me start out by showing you what chords are used for the song. So we have a D major, and the chords are there in the boxes if you can't quite see what's happening. Then we have a G major, okay, and then we have an E minor, or you can play an E minor 7, which is just taking off that ring finger, so you're just playing the 5th string 2nd fret. Alright, then we have an A major, and we have a D minor, and if you're a beginner and you're just looking to strum your way through the song, then you'll need to know a C chord as well. Okay, so let me just start out by showing the beginner how to strum your way through the song, okay? And we'll do this very, very straightforward and simple way, so you can just follow on with this, all right? Now, what's important is the feel with the right hand as well. So the song starts in D, and we have this. Okay, so up, down is kind of the strumming pattern for it. And you've got to try and listen for where the emphasis is as well, because that'll make a difference. Alright, so it's almost like the last strum of that up, down. So it's that final down which has a little bit more volume than the other strums, alright? So let's go through a verse and a chorus, and I will call the chords as we go along. So we have our right hand feel, which is
I once had a girl, or should I say
C.
she once had me.
Back to D.
She showed me her room, isn't it good?
C.
Norwegian Wood.
Okay, so that's like 1, 2, 3, D. Alright. So that's the verse. That's really all you got to do.
She asked me to stay and she told me to sit and eat G.
Back to D minor.
Around and I noticed
E minor or E minor 7 to A major. Alright, and that's the chorus. And then you're just back to a verse.
sat on a rug, biding my time, drinking her wine.
Alright, so that's really all you need to know if you just want to strum your way through the song and just get familiar with the arrangement. And maybe you'll tackle the melody later on once you're comfortable with just the basic arrangement of the song, right? Okay, so now for those of you who are interested in knowing what the melody is, let's take a look at that. Okay, so let me start off by showing you what I play, indeed what the Beatles played, alright? So on the actual record, you've just got the melody by itself. You've got okay, so that's the melody. Now that's fine if you've got a whole band behind you and stuff, but very often we're just playing by ourselves. So what I've taken the liberty of doing is to try and fill it out a little bit, you know, because when I play these songs live, it's a little bit more interesting if we can just fill them out a little bit sometimes. So what I tend to do is I put a little bit of strumming in between the melody. So it sounds like this. Okay, so it's a little bit more like that, as it were. So let me show you what I'm doing there, and we'll break this up into little sections so it's a little bit easier for you to manage, all right? The first section we're going to look at is this. All right, so we fret a D, and we just hit the 3rd and the 2nd strings. Then what we're going to do is, again on the 2nd and 3rd strings, is just do a down, up, down. All right, so we've got first little bit. Then we're going to keep this D fretted and we're going to be hammering onto this 3rd string here on the 4th fret, like so. Okay, and that might take a little bit of practice, but it's something you can definitely do with a little bit of practice. So it goes, then we take it off, then we take off our index finger off this 3rd string of the 2nd fret, and then we put our little finger on the 4th string of the 4th fret. Alright, so that little section is, and then we do a similar little strum, down, up, down, alright, on the 2nd and 3rd strings. Now the next little section goes, okay, so the way we play this little section is our index finger goes to the 4th string, 2nd fret. Then we play the 2nd and the 3rd strings. The 3rd string is open and the 2nd string is fretted on the 3rd fret. Alright, and then we go back to this 4th fret, 4th string, like so. And then our index finger goes back into that D shape. Alright, 3rd string, 2nd fret. So we have, alright, and you need to play these little sections a few times. And then we have a little down, up, down again. So now what we have is, and our final section is, we're doing there is we're playing the 5th string, 3rd fret, then we're doing exactly what we did in the last section there, playing the 2nd and the 3rd strings. 3rd string is open and the 2nd string is fretted on the 3rd fret. Okay, and then we play the 5th string, 2nd fret, and then we play the 5th string open and we do another little down up down on the 2nd and 3rd strings, and then we do another little down up down again to bring us back around. And if you put that all together, you should now have that's what you're aiming to do. Let me do it very slowly. And if you put that with the rest of the chords, like I say, then you'll have pretty much the whole arrangement. So let me show you now where we come out of the melody and into the chords. All right, so we have
I say she once had me. She showed me her room. Isn't it good? Norwegian Wood. She asked me to stay.
so that's where we go into the chorus, yeah? Which is the D minor and the G, and then the D minor and the E minor 7 or the E minor to the A major. So in other words, all this little section plays the whole verse throughout the whole verse. So there you have it, guys. I hope that you enjoyed that one, and just remember, anything I can do, you can all do. It's just a little bit of practice. That's all that you need to do, and just enjoy the journey. That's just as important as anything else. And if you're a beginner, then maybe start out by just strumming through the chords, and once you get a little bit more confidence, then try and play the melody section of the song as well. Either way, it's all there for you. There's some tabs over at Patreon if you'd like a little bit more, detail on that, you weren't quite sure. And if you've enjoyed the video, perhaps you could click on the like or the subscribe. That would really help me out. And for anybody interested in supporting what I do, there's a link down below to my Patreon page where you can do that. Now, I've done lots of Beatles songs, so, if the Beatles are your thing, like they are with me, I love the Beatles, obviously growing up in Liverpool. I've done a lot of their songs. You can check those out on my channel, and if there's anything I haven't done and you'd like me to do, then drop those down below and I'll see what I can do for you. And in the meantime, you all take care. I look forward to seeing you soon with another lesson. All the best.